and welcome to a Gooner Ramble podcast. And joining me this evening from America, it's my regular, it's Judd.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Thanks for having me on.
No worries, thanks for coming on. And next up, bees are good, bees are good. It's Lebanese are good, bees are good, bees are good. It's Lebanese are good. Sima, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Oh, I'm buzzing. And last but by no means least, they sit there like Princess Peach in the Emirates Castle, waiting for their moustached Italian plumber to rescue them on days of need. But we didn't need him today. Last week she got to interview one of her heroes, Alan Smith. Now she's with her ultimate hero on a podcast. It's from the Gooner Girls podcast, from Arsenal Fan TV's Big Discussion. It's Amanda!
Hello, and the Gooner Girls podcast. Did you say that?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Oh my God, I swear I'm losing the plot. Hello, thank you for having me on.
You're welcome, you're welcome. Now guys, 4 o'clock kick-off today where I live. I don't know what the time is where you live. I'm not going to bother because I'll be here all night trying to figure it out. Maths isn't my strength. Anyway, at the carpet, Manchester United, Louis van Gaal's Red and White Army roll into town, and in 20 minutes they roll back out. Let's go. Screw the line up. It picked itself. Judd, what did you make of the game, mate? Let's start with you.
Oh man, it was a dream. You know, I've wondered why we haven't been able to do this against United more recently, because they have not had the most, quality sides in the last few years, and this is the result I was expecting under Moyes. It's like, come on, man. And then finally today, I figured it would be a tighter match than that. And then 5 minutes in, it's like almost practically done and dusted. We were, at them from the gate, just relentless. The way that it was starting, I figured it would be 5-6 by halftime.
Hello?
Dead air is a crime. Have we lost you, Judd?
No, I'm here.
Oh, it was
sorry.
just silent.
I thought you were still carrying
That's
on.
all I got.
Oh, okay. Hopefully Rick can edit that out. That was a bit. Sima, yourself, what did you make of today?
It was amazing. I mean, we were very quick. They were very slow. We used all the spaces correctly. Their lineup was quite strange. They played players in wrong positions, and we maximized on that. And I thought we were amazing, specifically first half. First 20 minutes were really like a dream, as Judd said. And we defended well the second half. Czech was amazing as well. It was just great all around.
And Amanda, yourself?
Oh, it's lovely. I don't think I've ever seen a first half like that. It reminded me of when we went to Anfield and they came out and beat us 4-0 in 23 minutes. As Sima said, actually, everything she said I was going to say. They played everyone out of position. They didn't have anyone in midfield. I don't understand his tactics, to be honest. I don't know what he was playing at. We were wounded. We were either going to come out like that or another dull game. No one could have predicted that. I'm sorry, no one, because everyone was on a bit of a downer. But it was just brilliant. Each goal was brilliant. It was just... I came home and my son doesn't like football, but I said, look, just watch half-time. I just wanted to show you the 3 goals. And his initial reaction was, 3 goals before half-time to Man United? He said, but they're really good. I said, yeah, I know. I said, look at this. And he went, and I showed him Alexis Sanchez's back heel for the first goal. I mean, it was just exquisite. I mean, I know I'm going on. I haven't podded for a while, so you'll have to just interrupt me, James. But... where would we be without Sanchez? I mean, even when he was playing badly, right? Even when we were playing badly and people were slagging him off, I couldn't get that. We needed him to play back into form. He wasn't brilliant, but he was trying. That boy, every single goddamn game. The only one I saw him play badly in was when I went to Anfield last year. He wasn't really in it. 1 game. Out the whole season.
Well, he's got 6 goals in his last 3 in all competitions, so that speaks wonders for him, doesn't it? And, talking of that first goal, Judd, I'll go to you first and then we'll work our way down. We're bombarding them for ages, like we're literally all over them like bloody eczema. And, we're going away. Coquelin gets, as usual, blang, I'm going to block you out of the way. gives it to Aaron Ramsey, who, for me, all right, we'll get into a bit more arguments later, Sima. Hang on. Just hang on a minute. We'll argue later. Not yet. You know, it's like Christmas dinner around my house. We eat first, then we'll argue. You know, we build up to it. We build up to it. But, you know, Ramsey does what I believe was the only thing he's really done all the game. Lays that ball onto Mesut Ozil, who whips it in lovely. Great ball. And then the two money men, you know, the 70-odd million worth of talent combined, and what a little cheeky finish.
Yes. Was that a question?
Yeah, no, you know, I'm saying this is your time to, you know, share your love of the goal.
Oh, it was
Reminisce,
absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's the type of goal that we came to expect from, like, you know, the Invincibles. You know, we haven't had too many pure team goals, you know, aside from, like, the Norwich one that Wilshere finished off, was that, I think, 2 years ago. It was beautiful. And, you know, when the ball was played in, I think Sanchez was still at the back post, and he was practically in front of the near post by the time it got to him, and that ball was whipped in there, man. He was cooking to get back into position for that, and Ozil found him brilliantly. I mean, the whole thing, you know, it was funny. I looked up at the clock to see what the time was when we scored that goal, and I was shocked that it was only like 5 minutes. I thought for sure as many chances as we had and as how much we've been down their throat, it had to have been like 15, 20 minutes already. I mean, we haven't had that aggressive of a start, and I can't remember how long. And to have it against a side like United, I mean, we needed a match like that after coming off the midweek disappointment. Absolutely buzzing. I still can't quite. I'm still kind of in shock.
Yeah,
it's been hours. And
Sima, yourself, what did you make of the start and then that goal?
Yeah, I mean that goal was my favorite goal because it was a great team goal. Yes, Aaron Ramsey's pass to Ozil was great, but what I actually really loved is the fact that Theo Walcott was in a position where the defenders were facing him, and Sanchez used that. He went from the wing all the way to the middle of the goal, and just all of them together, between spacing, between the passing, between the goal itself, it was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah, and Amanda, I'll come to you now on the second goal, as it's your favourite person in the world. And, you know, Theo Walcott for me, this game, Amanda, you were there, and a lot of people were saying, even the pundits on Sky, it was Souness, Henry and Carragher today, they said most of the people at home haven't seen what Theo Walcott's done off the ball. They said he was running rings, he was doing so much that first half and the little bit of the second half that he played. So, you know, just quick before we go on to the goal, how well do you think Theo Walcott played today? Because for me, I thought he was exceptional. It's one of the best games I've ever seen him play for Arsenal.
This is the Theo that we were all waiting for. This is the Theo we all hoped could be. Because I was a bit before the game thinking, you know, Theo could be the Henry, couldn't he? He's got the speed, he's got the awareness. He's just sometimes a bit indecisive, where Henry never was. I mean, it's very hard to compare anyone to Henry, to be honest, and I don't think we should. Theo was probably the best game. Do you remember the game that we played against Tottenham where he got injured?
Yes.
He was on fire that day, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
And unfortunately, there was the 2-0 and he got taken off. We didn't see for a year or see him for a year. You have to excuse me because I'm all over the place tonight. But that's how
Just tonight. Sorry, carry on.
It's like an Arsenal drug. That's how he played today. We were so gutted when he got taken off injured because we could just see how he was performing. Today he did it the whole game. Phenomenal. They all were. You know, this is. I'm just going to talk about Ozil for a second. When we play absolutely diabolical, everyone slates Ozil. When we play absolutely brilliant, the whole team played well. I think you shouldn't credit or discredit one or the other. The whole team played well, and Petr Cech, speechless, to be honest. To have that, every time I look at him, he still doesn't feel real. It still feels like we've borrowed him for a bit. You know, all this rubbish about him being injured in midweek was absolute bullshit. I'm sorry. We all know it.
Yeah.
We all know it. I don't care what the manager says. I'm not interested because, he made a miraculous recovery for Day.
Yeah.
So, no, seriously, Theo, big up to him. But it's got to continue. You know, I don't think he can continue every game like that. He was like Sanchez. You know, I don't think United knew what hit them. I don't think anyone's come out against them like this for a long time. They're pretty average. To be honest, most of the teams are. Aguero for City. Sorry, I'm diverting, James.
It's all right, go for it, keep going, you're on a run.
I'm just saying that, you know, if you took Aguero out of City, we'd win the league. I've stated on our podcast, or the Big Arsenal discussion, I can't remember which one it was, if we bought the 2 players we needed, we'd walk the league. People had a go at me about that and said, you're so, whatever it was, rubbish, you're talking rubbish. No, I'm not talking rubbish. 2 players we needed, a striker and a replacement DM for when Coquelin will be suspended or will be injured.
Yeah.
I don't want him replaced at all.
No.
I do want Giroud replaced, but then everyone knows my feelings on that. We'd play like this every game. You got Sanchez. Ozil was like a magician.
He definitely stepped up today because, you know, he gets his plaudits in some games, but it's against the sort of weaker teams. And today I thought, you know, Man United, before the game started, I thought, you know what, you've got to step up today, boy. You really have. Like, my dad calls him the Blood Diamond, everything. He calls him every name under the sun. And I constantly tell my dad, look, Dad, you don't see what he's doing. You don't see what he's doing. And today, I thought he was amazing. And then, but for the goal, let's go back on the goal. Theo Walcott could have been really selfish there and took it for himself, but he lays the pass on. And then, you know, De Gea, who some people judge, you're the goalkeeping expert. Some people said he didn't dive. I think he had the 2 players. He had Blind and Smalling in the way, so he couldn't really see it until it went past him, could he really? But it was a good finish.
He was definitely excited by that, yeah.
Go on, Judd, sorry. I just wanted to say
I was
that
just
when
saying, like...
you can tell I've not paused for ages and I'm interrupting. Go on,
Judd, go.
Well, no, all I was going to say is when you saw the angle from behind, you could see that the defender was definitely coming across his sight line because he was, you know, just threaded right behind the defender into that far post.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you can criticize the keeper if you want, but you're an idiot if you do.
That's what I thought, because a lot of people were saying, like, what De Gea's doing there, and I was like, well, to be honest, he can't see. Like, Chris Smalling's what, God knows, 6 foot fuck plus, at least. So, you know, but yeah, Amanda, going back to you, you were saying something there.
Sorry, when Theo went down the wing and looked up, and at that point I didn't realise it was Ozil because it's the other side of the pitch for me.
Yeah.
And I just thought, for the split second, I thought if he hits that, it's going to go left because the goalkeeper can't see. Yeah. I didn't realise. To be honest, for that moment, I thought it was Ramsey standing there. But oh God, there was something I was going to say. I can't. It's just so me, isn't it? Just come back to me, James.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I know what I was going to say. Sorry, I know what I was going to say. It's just that when Ozil has Theo running in front of him like this is how you see the real Ozil. When he doesn't have that, you know, it is a struggle. And he fought back a lot today. They all did. I'm not going to praise Ozil above anybody else today. If anything, it would be Theo. I mean, Coquelin made one of those goals, the first goal, I think. Yeah. People forget Coquelin is so precious to us. It's you've got to have him on that pitch. But it's not fair on that boy every single game. So go on, carry on.
Yeah, no, I was going to say moving a bit further on. Alexis Sanchez. I know, Sima, you said you like the first goal, but for me, this is what I love because we have a podcast WhatsApp group. No, you're not allowed to join it. Boo hoo. Sorry. Anyway, me and Alexis Sanchez are spirit animals. You know, even though we're not in the same place, we talk to each other. We know, we understand. And he had a chance where he should have shot and he passed it to Theo, I believe it was, Judd, did he?
Yeah, I think it was Theo, yeah.
Yeah, and we fluffed it. And I said Sanchez should have been greedy and smashed that top bins. And then literally 2 minutes after, what does he do? He smashes it top bins because he knows. He knows James has told me to do this. He feels me. You know, we both got that spiritual connection together. I've never been to Chile, but, you know, we both know. We both know each other so well.
I've ate chili though.
Yeah, we've all had chili. You know, I've got Red Hot Chili Peppers albums if that's any, you know, consolation. But what a goal, and it's De Gea as well. You know, he's no pushover. On his day, he is arguably one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and he's just levered that. You know, how good of a goal was that, Judd?
Oh, that's the thing I like about Sanchez. I mean, he really does do it all, doesn't he? I mean, he's capable of scoring the cheeky little backheel flick at the near post. He's, you know, capable of just hitting a laser beam into the top corner. I mean, he dribbles around defenders, you know, plays off of them well. I mean, just he does it all. He does it all. I mean, and, you know, going back to your comment on De Gea, I mean, he's the only reason that cup match at Old Trafford last year wasn't 6-7 goals that we scored on him because, I mean, he had an absolutely blinding game and, you know, still wasn't enough. But yeah, Sanchez, wow, yeah, he had a day, and like we were saying earlier, it's great to have him back in form because I mean, without him, I mean, we're a shell of the team we were, last year.
Yeah.
And having him back in form is going to be brilliant. Hopefully he can carry this for the rest of the season again.
Do you feel, Judd, I'll say it to the others as well, but do you feel, Judd, he's sort of like Luis Suarez was for Liverpool a few seasons ago? He's that important, isn't he? He gives a lift to all the other players, because I feel, Walcott, I've always known there was a talented player there, and he sort of drifted in and out, but at the moment, the run that he's on, and Ozil picked it up a bit today, alright, he dips in and out, but I think that front line, alright, it's arguable with, Ramsey on the right-hand side. I'm not a big fan of it, but, Ramsey does a job. Do you feel that, that Sanchez, Ozil, Walcott, them three, as well as Ramsey or whoever on the other side, do you feel that's precious, like that Liverpool, they had Sturridge, they had Suarez, and they had Coutinho, alright. I think Ozil's head and shoulders above Coutinho. I think most people will.
Yeah.
But Suarez got there an extra 20% out of them, didn't he?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to sell Sanchez short, but I think that our talent around him is better than what Suarez had at Liverpool.
Definitely.
But yeah, the additional pressure that he puts on defenders also opens up more space for Theo and Ozil and Ramsey and somebody else, and like last year's Giroud. I don't think that with Sanchez missing, Giroud at the front is able to do anything. But since Sanchez is putting defenders under pressure, that gives Giroud time and space to do things that he otherwise wouldn't be able to do because he just doesn't have the ability.
Yeah.
And he's one of the Sanchez is one of those players that because he is so good, he makes everybody else around him that much better.
Yeah, definitely agree. And Sima, do you want to reminisce, give some Sanchez love out in the air?
Yeah, I mean, I want to go back to the point where Amanda was saying that we should give credit to everyone today, and I think that is exactly what it was today. Like, whenever I think about Sanchez, I think he was amazing. Whenever I think of Theo, I think of each one of them. I keep thinking, man of the match, man of the match, man of the match. And I think that is what was good today. It was every single player was in form. And obviously Sanchez does play a role in that because his work rate is amazing. And I think that rubs off on everyone else. But I think everyone's work rate was incredible today. And I mean, even for Sanchez's goal, it was an individual goal, but also the pass from Ramsey before that was also really good. And Cazorla's pass to Ramsey. I mean, I think every single person played their role today. And even though I know I was criticizing Per Mertesacker in the WhatsApp group, but all of them together had a very good game. And that is what we need every single game, because when one player drops a little bit, the next player kind of starts dropping as well. And then it just kind of plays out like a domino effect. And today it did the opposite. And if each player was playing well, so each one was just, rubbing off on that. So I think that was probably one of the best things about the game today.
Yeah, I know you're talking about the whole team. If we move on to the second half and what else as well. Today, passing-wise, we had 82%. United had 87%. We had 38% of the possession overall in the game. That's some of the lowest possession stats we've had, I think, since the City game we won the other year, which was 2-0. And, we made 22 interceptions today. Even bloody Santi Cazorla's tackling people. Everybody just grinded and worked hard today. And, it was amazing. Alright, Gabriel gave the ball away second half and United nearly had a chance. And all day I've heard about how this Marshall, whatever you want to call him, how he's going to run rings around Per Mertesacker. Per Mertesacker didn't even break a sweat with him, really. I think he dealt with him superbly. And Monreal and Bellerin, they're just solid, aren't they? They're solid as anything. But, if any, what do you guys make of the defence as well? Judd or Amanda, who wants to come in on that?
Yeah, I'll let Amanda handle it. I think one thing I want to say about your comment, though, before I give it up, is the possession stats I think are a little bit misleading, because when you go up 3 goals in the first 20 minutes of a game, you just look at the second half. We were happy to let them have the ball.
Yeah.
I think we played the entire second half in our half of the field, but what did they really do with it? Nothing. We were just sitting deep, letting them come at us and dealing with it with no problem.
Were you a bit upset that we didn't go for the throat a bit more, go for the jugular? Because I thought these lot are here for an absolute spanking. I was like, come on, let's proper go for them, because I hated that 8-2. I'm buying them for blood. I wanted at least 6 out there today. I'm like, let's just smash them.
The fan in me, clearly, I would love to see a 7-8-0, but let's be smart about this and just we've got the job done. Don't do anything silly. Don't give him an
Yeah.
opportunity to get back into the match. So
No.
I'm not disappointed by any means.
Mm-hmm. And Amanda?
I thought the second half, I wasn't bored at all. I thought, I don't think they were all over us. I didn't feel like it was the Alamo. I felt quite relaxed. I wasn't plutzing at all. I was like, I quite enjoyed the whole game. My daddy's another story. I'm not even going to go into it. But I didn't feel under threat. Normally, you'd be stressed. If they get one, then they get another. Oh, you know, can you imagine? But Petr did a couple of great saves, didn't he?
Yeah.
That was it. I looked at the stats before. It said 9 shots from them. I don't remember 9 shots, to be honest. And we had less possession, but we seem to win more games when we have less possession.
Yeah.
Remember the City game last year away?
Like I was saying, yeah.
We had less possession and we won it. So I'm quite a black and white girl, to be honest. Did we deserve to win that game? 100% yes. Did the ref play well? I thought he did. He could have booked Fellaini about 10 times, but it wasn't the end of the world. And did the defence play well? Paulista had a little bit of a wobble a couple of times, but I didn't feel, oh my God, you know, like edge of the seat stuff. So all in all, it's really hard to criticise today, isn't it?
Yeah.
I actually think he made the right substitutions at the right time, although he always does 71 minutes or whatever it is. I thought the Ox came on and gave us, you know, a little bit extra. I really want it to work for him. He needs to work on his defensive play a little bit, but, you know, just great. I mean, if you want to talk a little about Olympiacos, that would be a completely different matter.
I think we'll scoot over that. But you talk about the substitutions, and Sima, this is where me and you can have battle now. I thought, personally, when he got moved into that number 10 role, I thought Aaron Ramsey did a little bit better, but for me at the moment, he's not hitting the heights that I know this player is. You know, he had that 2 chances. I'm like, if that's Aaron Ramsey that I know from years ago, he buries them in his sleep. What do you think it is? Is it being played out of position? Is it a confidence thing?
No, definitely not being played out of position, because that season where he was amazing, he was played out of position quite a lot as well, and he still was scoring the goals. I think one of the main things with Aaron Ramsey, and you can see it in every single game, he really wants to score that goal, and once that goal happens, I think things will change for him. But I kept seeing a lot of people saying, Ox might be wondering why he's not getting a chance when Aaron Ramsey's playing this bad. But in my head, I'm just thinking, okay, look at Aaron Ramsey's overall play. Look at him. He runs everywhere. He's literally in every single position. I checked his heat map today, and really, he is everywhere on the pitch. He runs so much, works so hard, defends really well. And for me, that's better than someone who's going to be attacking really well, because as we know, a lot of times we actually get caught on the counters, and that's been the case for a while till Coquelin came in. And I think Ramsey does a great job defensively, but we're just so used to that season where he was scoring goal after goal after goal, and he literally saved our season that year. But I think defensively he's been amazing. And yeah, he did improve once he moved during the second half of the game. But overall, I thought he was really good, except for that missed chance, which was honestly incredibly crazy. I could not believe that happened. We could have easily been 4-0, and then after that, we could have also been 5-0 through him and through Ozil and through Ox hit the crossbar as well. But overall, for me, Ramsey would always be on the team sheet. Even when he's having a not so great game, he still adds something defensively, and I think that's very important for us.
Yeah, I mean, he gave the ball away a few times today, though, Sima. You have to admit, there were times where he gave the ball away and United sort of went on a break. I never felt threatened, but at the same time, you know, it does lead into that, you know, oh, for fuck's sake, man, you know what I mean? A lot of our fans do like to point fingers, you know. We've always got scapegoats at our club. It's been like that since I've supported them, and that's good nearly 23 years now. So, you know, we've always had a scapegoat to sort of point at, and just seems that it was, you know, Ramsey's turn in a way today. You know, it's normally Giroud.
Sorry, go.
No, don't worry. Just wanted to add one more thing though. With Ramsey, when he loses the ball, he fights for it back. Really, really fights for it back.
Oh God, yeah. I don't blame him for that.
And that's something I hate comparing players. I'm not comparing him to the Ox, because I love the Ox, and I think he just really needs to work on his defensive play. But Ox tries to win it back, and then ends up actually, like, we saw the past couple of games here. I think he's already had like 3 own goals or 2 own goals.
Yeah.
So
he falls on his arse a lot as well, bless him.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Whereas Aaron Ramsey really fights for the ball back. Okay, he loses it, and he lost it a few times, and he's always had a problem where he does way too much with the ball. Sometimes he overdoes things and could easily simplify his game, but he still wins it back.
Mm-hmm. And Amanda, did you want to chirp in there? Did you have anything?
I think Ramsey was caught napping on a few occasions, which puts us under pressure, doesn't it, really?
Oh,
but I've got a very soft spot for Ramsey. I think it's unfair a lot. He's played out of position. I can't bear him on the wing. But he did miss a chance in front of goal. A really, really big chance. Look, at 0-0, he'd have been crucified, but we were 3-0 up at the time. It's horrible because we all love, well, I do, and Sima does. I adore him. I don't know if he looks happy at Arsenal anymore. I just don't know if he's playing in the position he wants to play in. He's not playing brilliant for us, is he?
Do you know what? I don't think it's a case of he doesn't want to be there anymore. I think he's taking the role and trying his best at what it is, but I don't know if it's a lack of confidence. I mean, he doesn't play that position for Wales. He's they have like a free prone attack with like Robson Carnu playing as a striker, and then it's Bell, him, and I think it's Ledley who's at Palace and he used to be at Celtic and everything else. So, you know, he does a more further role for Wales, but for me today, I don't know, I was just a bit disappointed. I'm like, and it was again like at Chelsea, he was through himself, and he had all the time in the world to smash that, which we all know he's capable of doing, and he's just hitting fluffer after fluffer after fluffer. And it's a bit like Theo Walcott, you know, when he come back from his injury last season, and everyone was sort of giving him a hard time because he kept missing. Then eventually he scores, and look at the run that he's been on. You know, he's got something like 13 and 15 starts or something ridiculous. Do you just think it's a case of the minute Ramsey gets one, that's it, he'll kick on then? Because that's what I feel. But is that the consensus for everybody else? Like, Judd, do you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is. He's kind of just floundering in that position right now, and he just doesn't have the confidence because he's not getting in the results playing out on the wing. I think once he gets, you know, a little bit of confidence built up, that'll certainly help. Hopefully he can get back to, you know, somewhere near where he was. What was that, 2-3 years ago? Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's just a matter of time though, and he's not hurting us out there. I think people are just being a little bit critical because, you know, he's just you're comparing him to what he did in a different position, which I think is a bit unfair as well.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Sima, when Bellerin does his overlaps, which he does a lot because he's got the pace to do it, I much prefer Ramsey tucking in more than I do when Chamberlain's there. I get a bit worried when Chamberlain has to defend. But anyway, moving on, let's talk man of the matches. I'm guessing it's going to be quite easy, although you might stump me, you might throw one in there. So I'm gonna go for Alexis Sanchez. Judd, yourself?
Oh yeah, obviously that's my choice as well.
And Amanda?
Can I have two?
You can have one.
Oh, it has to be Sanchez, yeah.
Yeah. And are we going to get a clean sweep, or Sima, are you going to be different just to surprise everybody?
I am going to be different.
Ooh.
No, but for me it's Mesut Ozil. I mean, I don't think it's that much of a surprise. I thought he was really, really, really good.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, no, you know, some people are saying about Sheck. I mean, Judd, you're our sort of goalkeeping expert. You know, just how good was that performance today? I mean, the save he made with his leg from Marshall, I was like, that's incredible. I watched that a few times. I'm like, that's unreal. Some people said he didn't mean it. I don't care if he does. He made himself big. He got in the way.
Save.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how many times, I'm not even a good keeper, and I can't tell you how many times I made a save and didn't even know how I did it. You know, you just the instincts kick in, and just next thing you know, you're just putting some part of your body in front of the ball, and if it's your foot, your arm, your elbow, whatever. But this is the check that we thought we had in the summer, and people got a little bit nervy when he had a couple shaky starts at the beginning of the season. But you know, class is permanent. You know, and today it showed. And he had the kind of performance that we would expect from him.
Mm-hmm. And he's only 3 away now from David James, who I couldn't believe when I read this. David James is the clean sheet holder of the Premier League. He's the record. I couldn't believe that. Yeah, I couldn't believe that. I always used to think David James was a running joke in England. Like.
Yeah, over here too.
Yeah, he's like comedian
we all know him.
Over here, David James. Even as a pundit now.
Well, he did have a weird end to his season. Or his career.
Definitely. Well, let's head into the listeners' questions now, and thanks so much. We got loads today. I'm bombarded. Like my phone's just complete mess. I normally get busy on Tinder, but not on Twitter, so it's unbelievable. But if anybody does find me on there, give us a heart, and maybe we can have a prezos or something. But anyway, moving on. Moving on, we got a question here from a person that's been on this pod quite a few times. He's a nice man, Mark King. He's not the singer of Level 42. Before you all start thinking that I know the singer of Level 42. It's a different Mark King, just same name. What do you think helped them pull out that performance today, only 5 days after Olympiacos, and is it sustainable? Who wants to go ahead first and answer that one?
I'll go. A bollocking, probably. A bollocking. Possibly reading the press, not that I do. I don't think they read Twitter. I think that they all
I hope they don't. Some of the stuff I call them.
Well, yeah, exactly, some of the stuff, but some of the stuff would be good. I hope they appreciate the fan support today. I thought the atmosphere was electric. I did tweet about this yesterday, actually. I said I didn't know why. I had a feeling I thought the atmosphere would be electric. Sorry, I'm getting off the question from Mark. I think the bollocking, I think they knew they let themselves down.
To be honest, for 64 quid, I'm going to bloody sing.
Yeah,
you guys got to be electric. 64 quid.
Disgusting, isn't it? We was in a protest for that, for 2020 before, and trying to get, local kids, people can afford to go in. We can go on to that in a second, but Mark had a big hand in that. Mm-hmm. And I just feel that this was the best game to have. This or Tottenham at home, I think we would have performed the same. I think we came out like wounded animals and we were on the attack. And I think but this is typical Arsenal, isn't it? This is Arsenal doing an Arsenal. It's just, you cannot predict.
Is it another false dawn, Amanda? That's the question, I think.
Do you know what it is? I don't think it works like a false dawn. I think it's there. We've got the quality. We've got it. We've got the energy. We've got everything. Yeah. It's whether it clicks. It's whether they turn up and do their jobs.
Well, it just proves to me that it's not cliche and it's not hard. You're on 8 million quid, Mr. Wenger. Play your best players in the big games.
Yeah.
That's all I ask.
Yeah.
Just play your best players. Did anybody else want to jump in on that, Sima or Judd, or should I move on?
We can move on.
Yeah, Judd.
Yeah, that's fine.
No worries. We've got a question here from Mesut Ramsey 10, and he says, would you like to balance a Europa League campaign along with a Premier League challenge in the second half of the season once we get Welbeck back from long-term injuries? For me, I don't want any part of the Europa League. And
nor do I.
If we did, chuck the kids out in it. I couldn't care less. I don't know about you.
We're going to waste our time in Europe, then why not be in the Champions League?
Yeah.
Europa League, what's the point? Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. It's foolish, and I think it's a little bit premature to be writing off our chances in the Champions League. I mean, I know we're in a massive hole, but we've proven that we can get a result against Bayern. Now we just have to go out and do it again. It's not going to be an easy task by any means, and they're, and
we normally play well against them away, but at home we crumble against them. So it's weird. It's really weird. Like normally with Arsenal that I know, when we go to these big European arenas, we sort of get intimidated by it and fuck up and balls up a bit. But with going to the Allianz, we seem to handle it quite well and seem to get results. So hopefully we can try and get something out there. But what about the rest of you guys? Is there, Sima, do you want to play Europa League football? No?
No, definitely not. I mean, I think that would show what kind of ambition we have if that's the way we're going to actually start looking at the season. So definitely against that.
Yeah. And we got a question here from Jared-Ash Palmer, and he says, with Arsenal winning the big ones now, does that show we progressed? I don't know who wants to jump in there first.
Well, I hope. But at the same time, I mean, you just look back a couple weeks and we're, throwing away points against teams we should beat and capitulating in Europe. So I don't want to poo-poo the result because it's certainly a great result today, but it is just one game and we need to carry this on. It's like we were saying earlier, is this another one of those quote-unquote false dawns? We need to keep that intensity level in every match, especially in the Premier League where it's, so tight, the competition's so tight. You need to come out with, your A game every single week. And I think over the last couple of years, that's been one of our Achilles heels, is that we don't seem to do that. We have those games with the handbrake on, as Wenger says.
Yeah.
We gotta cut those out.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, we come out of the international break unscathed, and then roll on Watford, when we'll see if it's a false dawn or if this team are serious. Next, we've got a question from Adnan2205, and he says, Koscielny, Per Mertesacker, Gabriel, we can play any two and have a solid centre-back partnership. Should we keep rotating these three or stick to two? Well, I think if he was fit, it would have been Koscielny and Gabriel out there today. I don't think Mertesacker would have got a look in. But saying that, I thought he was class. So it is really hard. It's good to have a dilemma. It's nice to sort of have three really good centre backs on their day. But I personally think it would be Gabriel and Koscielny. What's the consensus from the rest of the group?
No, I agree. I think it would be Koscielny and Gabriel.
Yeah.
But like you said, we do have three very good options, and I think that's one of the things we lacked for a while, even though you know how much I love Vermaelen, but he was out of form, and we had a centre-back problem. We'd always have to play one of the fullbacks as a centre-back at a point. So having Gabriel, Koscielny, and I think Per Mertesacker is one of those players that can actually step in any time because he is a captain as well, and he can do the job. Whereas sometimes with rotation, it can actually be a bit tricky with the defenders. But I think Per Mertesacker can do that.
And Amanda?
Can you ask me the question again?
Yeah, of course. It's Koscielny, Per Mertesacker, Gabriel. We can play any two and have a solid centre-back partnership. Should we keep rotating these three or stick to two?
I'd have Koscielny and Paulista.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I would have.
And Judd, Koscielny and Paulista for you, or?
Well, yeah, if I'm going to have to, if I'm picking my favorite two, but I think having, that third option is very important, in a season where you're going to be playing 50 plus 60 games, somewhere in that range. You're going to have times where you need to either rotate because of injury or just rest or suspension or whatever else, and you need to have a quality third choice there, and I think Mertesacker is certainly a very quality third choice.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, Judd, cover your ears for the next question, because it's a bit of a weird one. It's from Nilstar1, and it's for the ladies, I think. I'm certainly not going to answer it. I don't know if Judd, you want to answer it.
Oh, here we go. What has she done?
Can we have shorter, tighter shorts for our players, please?
Oh, God, she's only set us back about 50 years. Neely, shut up. Although I got to see her today,
they would match the kids, wouldn't they?
Yes. No, I'm not fussed. Are you, Sima?
No, not at all.
No.
Well, before we started recording, Mr. Sanchez today, when he come off, he had what they called a groin problem. Seemed more like a penis problem to me. I'm going for it. No one's reining me in today. I think the shorts are fine how they are. I don't want them any tighter, please, because wardrobe malfunction in sports are not something we really want to see. So that's my opinion on it. But is there anything else anybody wants to talk about today? Any other mentions? I mean, that's pretty much all the listeners' questions.
No, I think that's it.
No, Judd, Amanda, is there anything you want to add in?
Oh, no, I'm all good today. I can't believe finally got that result we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
I'm gutted there's an international break.
So am I. When we have such momentum as this, I really, wish we could keep going and have another game. But obviously we got boring football, boring international football. I couldn't even tell you who England are playing. That's how much I don't care anymore. Honestly, I can't stand international football.
No, not
bores the living hell out of me. I'd rather chuck EastEnders on, chuck on a soap. It's that boring. But anyway, well, the next game's Watford, and I don't know if we'll do a podcast before. I'm gonna assume, so I'm gonna make an arse out of you and me that we probably won't. So I know you don't predict Amanda, so I'll rule you out of this. But Judd and Sima, Watford, can I get your prediction and your first goal scorer, please?
Sanchez, 12-0.
Okay, and Sima. You can't change it now. That's
nope,
you held to
I'm
that.
Committed.
Yeah, you
got
to put your house on it as well. Or your car keys. You got to roll big.
3-0 and Theo Walcott.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to go for a nice 4-0 and I'm gonna finally pick Aaron Ramsey. I think it's about time. He's gonna pull his finger out and do it and shut me up.
Apparently, 5 is the number of goals people like to score nowadays. So I'm picking Ramsey with 5 goals in 14 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. And,
Did you say that you'd be shut up, James? I don't think it's ever going to happen.
shut up in regards of slagging off Aaron Ramsey. I'll never shut up, Amanda. I've got too big of a gob and too much to say.
I know.
You know. Yeah. Well, you know, I got a big head to contain my massive brain, so you know, I've got to get everything that's in there off.
Everything,
Otherwise-
really.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
Should we start with Prezos?
Well, you know, this is a football podcast. I don't want to bring in my
Tinder.
exploits to the world. You know, pretty much people know that I'm an international man of leisure, and they don't really need a detailed description on this podcast. I mean, last week we did a whole bit on condiments, which
Oh
got a
my
bit weird.
God, but that's
So-
I wonder what you were going to say.
No, condiments. Yeah, but you know, mustard and sriracha. Is it sriracha, Judd? Have I said that correctly?
Sriracha.
Yeah,
what's
that's correct. Yep.
It's. Go on, Judd. You explain.
It's a hot chili sauce, basically. It's a grown man's ketchup, essentially.
that?
puts hairs on the chin.
Yep.
Yeah, and the chest. Okay, well, before we get completely out of hand, I'll wrap it up here. So I'll say thanks to my regulars, Judd and Sima.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
No worries, thank you guys. And I'll say thank you to our special guest Amanda from the Gooner Girls podcast and Arsenal Fan TV's Big Discussion.
Oh, it's been lovely. I missed you all.
Someone has to, you know.
Oh, thank you for asking me.
That's alright. Well, that's been a Gooner Ramble. I've been LL Cool James 91, James Johnston, whatever you want to call me. And good morning, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Up the Arsenal.
So hello, my lovely Gooners. This is usually when you hear the soothing music at the end of the podcast, but I wanted to drop in a little special treat right here. What we have is, imagine if you're about to host a podcast. You're coming off at a convincing 3-0 victory against Manchester United, and you've probably had a few cocktails. So what we have here is James geeing himself up for the podcast right before we started recording. Enjoy, and you'll hear the music in a moment.
Let's have it, right. Oh, start strong, finish strong, James. Big game. Big game. You're the man, James. You know what you're doing. You got this. We'll do it in one. Let's have it.
Nutter.
Hello and welcome to a Gooner Ramble podcast.
1, 2, 3.